The waiter spilled the drink right as the blind woman smiled and said, "I can tell when someone is lying. If that line doesn't pull you in, stay with me, because what happened next changed 3 lives forever." And before we go any further, if you enjoy deep, emotional stories that leave you thinking long after the video ends, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It truly helps these stories reach more hearts. Ethan hadn't planned to be cruel. He hadn't planned to be anything at all that evening except desperate. A single dad of a 7-year-old boy, he lived life balancing bills on one side and bedtime stories on the other. His days were spent fixing air conditioners, his nights helping with homework and pretending everything was fine. But that week, everything wasn't fine. His son Liam's asthma medication had doubled in price, rent was overdue, and his phone buzzed with a final notice he didn't want to open. That's when the offer came. It was strange from the start. A man in an expensive suit approached Ethan outside a grocery store, calling his name like they were old friends. He wasn't. The man explained quickly, clinically. A wealthy client wanted a date ruined. Nothing violent. Nothing illegal. Just uncomfortable enough that the woman would never want to see the man again. The reason didn't matter. The woman was blind, the man said, as if that somehow made it easier. Ethan would simply interrupt, embarrass, provoke. 10 minutes of his time for more money than he usually made in a week. Ethan said no. Then the man mentioned the amount again. And then, quietly, added, cash. Tonight. Ethan thought of Liam wheezing in his sleep, the inhaler almost empty. He thought of the eviction notice folded in his pocket. He told himself it was just a date. People recovered from worse. He nodded once, hating himself already. The restaurant was dim and elegant, filled with soft music and low conversations. Ethan spotted them immediately. The blind woman sat upright, hands folded gently on the table, her face calm and open. Across from her was a nervous-looking man who kept adjusting his tie, clearly trying too hard to impress her. They were laughing. Not forced laughter. Real laughter. Something in Ethan's chest tightened. He waited for the signal. The suited man texted him, "Now." Ethan approached the table, pretending to stumble, knocking into the chair. He raised his voice, accused the man of cutting him off earlier, of being rude, of spilling a drink. The man stood, confused and apologetic, trying to calm things down. Other diners stared. The moment was unraveling exactly as planned. But the blind woman spoke. "You don't have to do this," she said softly, turning her face toward Ethan. The table went quiet. "I'm sorry." Ethan asked. "Your voice is shaking," she continued. "People who are angry don't sound like that. People who are scared do." Ethan froze. She tilted her head slightly, as if listening beyond sound. "You're a father," she said. "You have a child. A son, I think." Ethan's breath caught. "How? My brother sounded like you when he was struggling," she said gently. Same pause before speaking. Same tired weight in the chest. The man across the table looked between them, stunned. "I don't know who paid you," she went on, "but I do know this. Ruining my date won't fix what's broken in your life." Ethan felt every eye in the room on him, but all he could see was her. A woman who couldn't see his face, yet somehow saw straight through him. His throat burned. He muttered an apology and turned to leave, shame flooding his body. "Wait," she said. He stopped. "You can sit," she offered. "If you want. Just as yourself." The suited man texted again, angry now. "Where are you going? Finish it." Ethan ignored it. He sat down. What followed wasn't dramatic or loud. It was quiet. Honest. Ethan told them the truth. About Liam. About the money. About how tired he was of choosing between right and survival. The man on the date, Daniel, listened without judgment. The blind woman, Clara, listened with her whole being, asking questions that showed she truly cared. Daniel laughed softly at one point and said, "I was worried I was the worst thing that could happen on this date. Turns out, life had other plans." They all smiled. By the end of the night, the suited man never came back. But something else did, hope.